Hello and welcome to Just a Moment. My name is Kristen Harding. Welcome to the show. Today I have a wonderful guest. I hope you are as excited as I am. And please welcome Colleen Hildebrandt, also known as Medium Red.
Hi, Kristen. Thank you for having me on.
Mm.
I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm just so excited to have you on the show. I've been hoping to interview you since I saw you on another platform, and I was just so excited because, oh my goodness, you have so many gifts. From mediumship, you told me you have all the clairs, so you're clairaudient and you're
Yeah,
clairvoyant. And wow,
clairvoyant.
we're going to go into all of that. But let's start first with these beautiful blessing cards.
Yay.
And today I had a little help in picking it out. I asked which pile because I was put them into three piles. And so Colleen picked pile number two. And oh my goodness, what a handsome man he popped up. Oh,
Johnny Depp. Oh, wow. No.
oh, I think Johnny Depp would be happy if he was as ripped as this guy is. Um, but it says a blessing on your love. And that is page before it. Okay, it says a blessing on the discovery of the affinity of one soul for another. May the fragile beginnings of love between you bring life to qualities within you that will be your soul's true calling. May the sweetness of the taste of the lips that kiss yours be matched by the kindness and patience you find for each other. May the darker times that beset all companions of the heart teach you what to hold on to and what to open your hands to easefully let go of. May the embrace of each other's arms become a sanctuary from the world, yet not keep you from it. Instead, may this love send you back to the world restored, whole, eager for the knowing of it. And when you return to each other, may there be space for both to share and learn what you shaped that day. Let passion be long lived. Let your spirit's flame be both tended and stoked by the other. And may you be a friend of the soul, a bringer of laughter, and a light in the time when shadows gather and fall. If you should leave, one before the other, or choose to go, let it be without lies or mistrust. Let it be the natural order of things that your love burned brief and bright. But if it is right for this love to endure into the years far beyond, let it be good and enriching and solace itself for your years as an elder. Let this love be your light, and may it guide you well, warm you always, and help you see all the more clearly.
Love it. It was awesome.
Blessed be.
That was great. Words of wisdom. Very sweet.
Well, thank you because you helped me find it.
I went for the hunk of burning love.
Hi, Paul. Um, so let's start with just having you introduce yourself and tell us just a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Colleen, and I am medium red, and I'm a medium. I can talk to people, see them, hear them. I was telling Kristen backstage, I have all the clairs, so I know, I feel, I can be touched, I can taste, I can smell. So basically, in a nutshell, that's kind of my gift that I do.
Wow. When did this begin to manifest for you? Have you always had it?
I have since I was 5 years old. And my experience was I was sitting at a little table and I didn't know anything different. I knew that I was different from all the other kids, but I was sitting at my little table at 5 years old, and I had a bear in one seat, and I had a little Barbie doll in the other seat. And of course I was here. And then my grandfather was sitting next to me, and I was doing a tea party, and I was talking to him just like I'm talking to you. And my mom walked in and said, "Who are you talking to?" And I said, "My grandfather, Pap," because that was what we called him. And she's like, "No, you're not. He's dead." And I said, "I know. He's right here." So her being highly Catholic and religious wanted to shut it down and told me that that was demonic and of the devil, of course, and shut the door. Basically told me to stop. So I looked at my grandfather and I was like, "I don't understand. You're my grandfather. Why is this, demonic? And what is demonic? What's the devil? What's all this stuff?"
Mhm.
He's like, and I was upset because I wanted to continue playing with him. We'd do tea parties. He played Barbies with me, cops and robbers. We'd play, Indian cowboys and Indians. We played all kinds of things together. And so he said, "Next time she asks you, make it an imaginary friend." And I'm like, "What's that mean?" He goes, "Well, somebody you don't see. She can't see me. So you just tell her it's an imaginary friend and make up a name."
Mhm.
So I went, "Okay, weird, but whatever." So next time she came in, I was doing a tea party again, and she's like, "Who are you talking to?" And it looked like I felt like a deer in the headlights, like Hockey, my imaginary friend. So she was fine with it. Shut the door. And I
So,
was like, in my little pea brain, 5-year-old brain, I'm like, why is it okay to have, excuse me, why is it okay to be able to have an imaginary friend, but it's not okay to be able to talk to my grandfather who walked this earth, for
mhm.
3 years?
I love how your mind went. And hello, Matthew. He says he can't stay. I'm working, got to go, but he wanted to swing in because he saw us live. A little shout out to Blondie and Red, he said.
Hi, Matt.
Oh, yes. So,
Yeah, so that's
that,
it started
that's
manifesting when I was 5 years old, and yeah,
how
I
did you encounter spirit in school then? Were there like kids that needed to talk to you?
Oh, I had adults and children, and on top of it, I can see people's aura. So, I mean, I kind of kept that quiet after a while because you get teased unmercifully, like colors. You see
Mhm.
colors around us.
Mm. Yeah. The
So,
first time he said that to somebody, he went, "Ooh, I see dead people." I'm like,
yeah,
"Good,
exactly.
good for you." Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about. But no, I also have I can see and feel aura. I can
Hmm.
feel easily, this isn't strange to me because I've been around so many people now that really can connect into it. But when it first started coming out to me was back in the 1990s. And like you said, anything that was even questionable
Hmm.
on the New Age page was considered evil.
Yep.
And there's nothing evil about one of your relatives wanting to connect back with you when love never dies,
Right.
energy never dies. Oh my
Right.
goodness. I think it is such a gift. So, next question. So, what is your most amazing experience so far?
um, got a frog in my throat. I would probably say we did an investigation with the Kaha crew paranormal in Clifton, Arizona. And Clifton is a mining town, silver, I think it's silver and copper mining town. And there it was a woman who was a lady of the night. And the Clifton Hotel used to be a bordello.
Yeah.
And she was married and she was allowed to be the lady of the night. Her husband allowed her to do it because they needed the money. But he didn't want her falling in love with another man. Well, she did. She fell in love with another man, and it was a love triangle, unfortunately. Um, Never been to Clifton, never saw this hotel before. My leads and all the paranormal crews that I belong to, basically, in a nutshell, will not tell me much of anything other than the location. And I don't do any research prior to. So uh, it's a twofold experience where I was sitting on the sofa and my husband was sitting next to me, and all of a sudden it was like a week before we were supposed to depart to the location, and I started like gurgling. Like I had this vision of this woman who was standing in front of the hotel. I described the hotel to my husband. I described her and what she looked like, and she was wearing a negligee from the 1800s, I would say. And she had her hair, up, but it was very loose. It wasn't of the time.
Good
And
symbol. Yeah.
exactly. And then I saw her standing, the hotel was like side and she was standing this way. And I saw an arm come around her chest and then a knife slit her throat.
That's where I went. When you said gurgling, I was like, oh my God, she got her throat slit.
Yeah. And so consequently, huh?
I have to cough because I'm literally reacting to it.
Well, that's why I probably have mine going too. So she literally died. I thought she died outside because she showed me the hotel and she showed me being on a dirt road. And I didn't put the two and two together until we were actually there. And so that night during the investigation, I went into her room and I said, show me your death. Well, you have to be pretty specific on what you tell these spirits, what you want to do. She literally showed me her death by making me feel her death. So I was in the room, and the next thing I know, I start to get very lightheaded and dizzy. And I sat down, I put my legs up, my knees up to my chest. And then I'm starting my head starting to fall over. And just before I kind of just fell onto the concrete floor, they pulled me out of there. So literally they took photographs of me and my face. I mean, I'm pale complected to begin with, but I was whiter than white. I was like the color of your hair. So I literally felt like all the blood draining from my hands. My legs were tingling. I could barely even use them. They had to help me walk out to the front of the building to get fresh air. I literally sat there and felt her entire death from beginning to end. And it was like 11:23 at night. She had her throat slit at 11:23. She sat with her body for 23 minutes afterwards until she died, because she didn't die instantly, unfortunately. She sat with her body the entire time until it was discovered at 10 a.m. the following morning. So she relives her death every single day because there's no vindication. Her husband walked free. So until, when I talked to her afterwards, she said, I'm not going anywhere until my husband has been caught, apprehended, and tried. Well, he's dead, passed on, I'm sure. And how do you vindicate an 1800s murder? It's really difficult.
Right. So what did you do?
We didn't do anything, just talked to her, and had a hospice nurse there. And she said, when she looked at my hands and my feet and everything, she was like, that's what the body does when it's getting ready to shut down. It tries to protect the core. So it literally cuts off blood supply and everything to the extremities so that it can protect the core and the heart. So it was very wild, but no, there's nothing we can really do. We've talked about maybe perhaps doing a mock trial and seeing if that might perhaps kind of solve the issue for her.
I like that.
We just need to get down there and do that next. And we've been toying with dates to try to help her out on that end to see if that might even release her from her private hell, because it's basically a private hell.
Well, something that I have learned that helps with bad dreams or nightmares where, you have a recurring nightmare and it will not leave you alone, is to go back when you are in like a lucid dreaming state and change that damn dream. Make yourself victorious. Find a way to, fight off the attacker. Find a way to be positive in doing it. Like, I had a recurring dream when I was in high school that this was all a reality and we were living in the time of dinosaurs. And they were still here. They were just hiding, and one day they were going to make themselves known, and we'd be flying back into the caves and all this other stuff. So I was terrified by this dream because a dinosaur would literally chase me into a restaurant. And so I had to revisit this dream and make that dinosaur go into the big old cooler.
Yeah.
He could eat all the ice cream he wanted, but he had to leave me alone. Right. And it worked. Exactly. I have not had that dream since.
I love it. Yeah, I love lucid dreaming. I do that too. Whenever something happens like that, I always go back in. I control the dream afterwards, by basically just saying, nope, we're not going to go this route. We're going to go this route. So
I'm not going to be terrorized by something that was in my own imagination. No. Not happening. Right?
I love it.
So do you believe in past lives?
Yes.
Do you think that we are, is there a possibility that time isn't linear and we're actually living them all at the same time and
I
they're
think,
overlapping?
yeah, I do believe that. I really do. So I believe that you are. I'm in Egypt, or I'm a 13-year-old boy. I've done had past life regression sessions on myself. I do past life regression sessions, as you know, and mine was actually my current husband and I were a king and queen, a pharaoh, in 869 BC, and I was poisoned by a slave
Oh
because
no.
that person wanted to have my husband. I think it was his ex-wife.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You know, karma will play out that way. It will. Was she poisonous in this life?
Yes. Oh, yes. Big time.
You don't change your characters, what I understand.
No, pretty much not. And then I was a 13-year-old boy in New York, which is interesting because I've never really had a desire to go to New York, and now I know why. Because I was shot and killed by the mob.
Oh, that makes sense. There was a movie that my son made me watch, which was like about all of the gangs of New York. I think it was even called Gangs of New York, and it was
Yep.
set back in the 1800s. Oh my goodness, it was like I was living it. I got the chills, and I have never wanted to go to New York City. New York State, that's where my grandparents are from.
Oh,
So that's
nice.
a different story because I understand it's quite lovely, but
Yes.
never have I been, nor will I go to New
Yeah, it
York
was
City.
the I think it was the Bronx. Then I saw it was the mob, and it was like in 1920s, 30s, and I saw something I wasn't supposed to see, and I was an orphan child, an urchin running around the streets. I was very dirty and self-sufficient on my own, and saw something and shot me as I was running away. So it's funny because my husband always asks me like, "Well, you got to go to New York City." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know. Let's go to Boston instead." You know?
Mhm. Do I really have to go? Benny
Yeah.
would like to know, can you, as he says, can you ask Colleen if spirits visit her more when she is dreaming or when awake?
Actually, more so awake because I have to have my sleep. So what I do is I put personal boundaries in place so that I can get sleep. If I don't get sleep, I can't perform my job. So that's
Good.
why I always draw a line in the sand when I go to bed. This is my time. We can talk tomorrow. It's not to say that I don't have that occur, but I always go back in and say, no, this is my time to sleep. It's my rejuvenation time. You can talk to me in the morning. Thank you very much.
I like that. There will be an occasional time where someone will pop into my dream,
Mhm.
but I also have a boundary up. It has to be a loved one. It has to be someone I know, and there has to be an important message.
Right.
Otherwise, no, please wait until morning. I agree
Right.
with you.
Exactly. Nope. Gotta have rest.
Yes. So, next question. From everything that you have seen, what do you believe happens when our life here ends?
I believe that our soul goes back to where we came from, and we basically do a review as to whether or not we really learned our soul contract for why we were here originally.
Yep.
And if we didn't, then there's the potential of recreating, another life and coming back until we have learned whatever that is.
Almost identical to my belief. I have said this many times. I used to watch an old time Bible thumping minister that he did a good Bible study, and I'm fascinated by knowledge. I
Mhm.
want to know the deeper meanings. I'm not one of those like convenient Christians that throws stuff at people like darts. No, 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 no. I want
Right.
to know, right. So he used to say when the clay pot breaks, meaning our body breaks, our spirit, our soul goes back to the Father. And then when, this is my opinion, when we go to the Father, the source, whatever you want to call it, creator,
Mhm.
we are asked the very simple question of, did you experience everything that you wanted to in physical form?
Right.
Did you experience love? Did you experience betrayal? Did you experience joy? Did you experience pain? Did you experience every emotion? And if the answer is yes, would you like to go back? Or would you like to stay here and just bask in this light for a while until a family member might call you up and say, hey, I need your help?
Right. Exactly.
Is that
Precisely.
clear? Is
Yeah.
that clear? Okay.
Yeah. I agree with you. That's pretty, it's essentially, basically what I was saying too in the same nutshell. So yeah, absolutely.
Wow. It is so nice to meet someone who has the same opinion. It really is. It's
It's hard out there. There's not a lot of people that think the same way. So I get it.
right. Uh yeah. I'm Sister Soul. I knew that right away. Um a question from the audience that was prior to us starting the show, and that was, it's kind of a little different, but it's like, she asked, are the Draco reptilians, the Anunnaki, the Archons, all part of the demiurge? And so I had to look up what the demiurge exactly was, because to me, the demiurge is darkness that I fight in my dreams at night.
Right.
But, but then when I looked into what Plato called it,
Hmm.
my version, I guess, was more Gnostic, because the Gnostic version of it is that the demiurge is not a true god. It's a prideful, ignorant, malicious, lesser entity who
Hmm.
traps the divine spark.
Right.
And I was like, well, I don't think I like that very much. But then Plato said that the demiurge is an inherently benevolent entity who fashions the physical world by organizing pre existing chaos to conform to the rational, eternal blueprints of ideal forms.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, so we've got two opposing opinions there. An architect, not a magician. The demiurge, it said that unlike the concept of a god who creates out of nothing, the demiurge is an artisan, that does not create out the raw material of the universe. It imposes order, structure, and mathematical harmony onto pre existing disordered matter. So when I was like, okay, thinking about all the negative forces, all the negative things that have to happen sometimes to get to a positive,
Right.
is that, could we lump that all together and just say,
I feel like you can, and I believe that, and I feel like in regards to that too, it's like you have to have good and bad, because
right,
again, how are you going to learn if
right,
everything was perfect and everything was orderly and everything was not chaos and or dark? How are you to learn where light is? How do you learn order? How do you learn that chaos is chaos? So you have to have that's almost a yin and a yang to life, and that's what we're here to learn. We're here to learn.
well, I once asked a psychic, uh, many years ago now, it would have been late 1990s, I guess. I said, why did I have so many difficult trials when I was a child? Because it was hard level for me. I came in on hard level.
Oh,
And he said, so that you would appreciate the light later on in life, and share it with other people that maybe haven't had that experience. And I'm like, okay,
exactly.
sign me up. I'm good.
There's always a silver lining, you
Right?
know, always
Right?
a silver lining to things. So yeah.
Awesome. It's so nice to hear positive things in this very negative and crazy world. It
It is
just really,
definitely. Well, we have to carve out that positive and that positive aspect for ourselves too. Nobody's going to do it for us. We have to do it ourselves.
oh yeah. And I try to hold a frequency that is positive. I feel like that's part of my mission is to take those crazy dark times and try to alchemize them, spin them however much they need to be spun until we can find a positive
Right.
and make some lemonade out of these lemons because my goodness, if if I said that it feels sometimes like the archons are winning
Mm-hmm.
and I'm out there fighting going no 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 not today, thank you so much.
Yeah, exactly. Or lemon martinis.
Lemon martinis. Well, I'm a teetotaler, which is why I believe I don't look my age. Um, because I'm not my age.
Neither am
I'm
I.
an old soul who came back is what I've been told. Um, do you sense any presences around me?
I don't currently at this moment, but that's because I'm in podcast mode. So I apologize.
No, no, I was curious because, I have been told that many spirits dance around me and they're generally positive. There are a few that are assholes, excuse my French, but you know what? That doesn't surprise me. I have a few relatives that aptly named.
Aptly named. I love it. That's funny.
So, do you have a message for the audience? Is there something that you would like to talk about, like what's going on right now in the world?
I would love it if everybody would love each other and get away from my way is the right way and your way is the wrong way. There's really, it's just irritating, and I won't say as what. But yes, I mean, it's hard enough to deal with things that are going on in the world and then to have things more localized occurring that's negative. And again, like I try to keep my nose clean. I try to keep into the positive and try to always think that silver lining aspect. But
Mm,
I feel like we need to love each other more, love on each other more, and accept everyone as who they are, because
yeah,
you're there to learn a lesson from them and they're there to learn a lesson from you.
yes,
And today is not, tomorrow's not promised. So be present
exactly.
as today, because you never know what tomorrow is going to hold.
That is so, so true. I learned that blatantly in my near death experience where I realized, when I was in my 30s, that when we're gone, we can't change a thing. But while we're here, we can
Mm-hmm.
change the memory that people have of us.
Exactly.
I want people to have a good memory of me. So I'm going to do those things in this life that help people, that guide people, that maybe if they're having a down day, something I say or do might help.
Right.
Those are the days I live for. That's truly what motivates me and has motivated me. So then when I read um oh my goodness, I love to read. So when I read The Bringers of the Dawn, which was the Pleiadian message, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, yes, holding this frequency, I like this idea, right? And the Book of One,
Mm-hmm.
when I learned about service to self versus service to others, I realized I'd been naturally doing that ever since, well, even prior to my
Right.
near death experience. It was just how I was raised to be. Do you think that some people choose to do service to self, or just that they're not aware that that's what they're doing?
I think it's a little of both, honestly. I think and oftentimes we get caught up on in life knowing what we're supposed to be doing, but in order to be what we're doing, we get caught up in it. And so we kind of put that to the side and be more self serving. And in some cases, it's not necessarily a bad thing to be self serving.
Mm,
It
right,
depends on what it is that you're doing.
right,
But, it's again the yin and yang. You have to be able to balance it out by being service to others and service to yourself.
right. Well, I once told my son being organized, because he's got ADHD and He'll fly around the room 15 times before he's got everything, to leave before he goes out the door. And so I was trying to teach him um, the workarounds.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Okay, well, I have to leave, so I need to have my car keys, and I need to have my wallet, and I need to have this, and I need to have that, and I need to have my lunch, and I need to have a water bottle. When I have all those things, I can go out to my car.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, you would have thought I was pulling teeth. And then I realized, so many in his generation, and then the generation after that, even, they don't even look up from their tablets.
Mm-mm. No.
I
It
have
was
to go like this and say, guys, Grandma's here. I want to talk to you.
It's amazing. Prior to my husband that I'm with now, I dated a guy who had I think she was 12 or 13-year-old niece. And they had a party locally here at a restaurant, and it was a elongated table. And I don't remember how many were sitting at the table, but they literally were all on their phone like this when they're sitting across, like, basically in a nutshell, like how we're looking at each other, like across from each other, and
Mhm.
they're texting each other and they're laughing. But yet I'm sitting across from you. It's like, I was just absolutely floored. I'm like, why wouldn't you just,
Talk.
right, exactly, talk, I don't know. I was floored on that one. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
It,
But
it, it's actually scary to me because that's part of the programming is to alienate people from one another so that they don't feel their humanity anymore. And
well,
then
there's no human
alienate them from
connection.
some source. And it's just like, oh my goodness, I'm watching it, I'm watching what they warned us about in Brave New World in 1984. I'm watching it happen.
Well, and there's no human connection. And if you notice, I mean, I don't know if you notice this, Kristen, or not, but it's easier to be a keyboard warrior and use your keyboard to talk to people. And
It's
instead of being
safe.
face to face with somebody,
Yeah.
so there's misinterpretation, or there's maybe the misinterpretation is, meant to be that way. But I
Mhm.
feel like, people hide behind the keyboards and they become Karens and Kevins or whatever the male name is, male Karen, whatever. But they basically, can be a keyboard warrior and spout off. But yet, if you were standing in the parking lot, they would never do that in a million years. So
So
it's
that
kind
to
of
me,
programming that dehumanization contact.
and to me, that's cowardly. If you wouldn't do it in real life, what you doing it on the keyboard for?
Right,
Say
exactly.
it to my face if
They're
you've got
safe.
the courage,
They're safe. Yeah, exactly. And they're safe.
But to me, it's going to be very rough for those kids when they encounter reality, won't
Mhm.
it?
Exactly. Exactly.
So, you were talking briefly about your past lives. What do you remember from being, did you say 13 in Egypt?
No, actually, I was 13 in the Bronx in New
In the
York.
Bronx. Okay. When
And
when you were in Egypt, did you say that you were of the royal family?
correct. Yes, it was 869 BC, and actually it's kind of funny. I kind of looked it up, and the queen looks like the facial structure looks like mine. It's kind of scary.
No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful because I had a guest not too long ago tell me that superimposed over me, she could see me in Egyptian paint, Egyptian hair, the whole thing.
Hmm.
And then Christopher, our good friend, Omni Collective, I think he's on here somewhere. He had said that Benny and I knew because I felt like a brotherly connection with Benny immediately.
Hmm.
And that's where I went. And Christopher said, "Oh no, it was a little deeper than that. We were married back in Kemet." And I'm
Oh,
like, "Well,
wow.
that's ancient Egypt."
Right. Yeah.
So for all of our souls to travel together, to be here now.
Hmm.
Mm, wow.
Exactly.
So
Powerful.
why would you say that of all the timelines that you could have chosen, why did you incarnate now?
It's a good question. I'm still delving into that and learning. I feel like there was definitely something that I needed to learn that I didn't learn back in the other soul contracts. And I know that I was in poverty in Ireland. I know that because Ireland is home. I know that I was on the Titanic. I was in steerage. I drowned. There's so many other lives that I know I've done that I really want to delve into. But yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to delve into this one to find out exactly what I was meant to be here for, other than the fact of perhaps my gift of being a medium needed to be brought out, and it wasn't brought out in the other lives. That's the only thing I can think of.
Or maybe that you were a voice of calm and light in a dark time, because there are many of us that are, I believe, called back. Like we've already been through all the steps. We've
Mm-hmm.
already been there, but for some reason, some soul called us back and said, in 2026, you will be needed to do such and such.
Right.
So please be here and ready to accept this.
Right.
So
Exactly.
with alien disclosure, have you ever encountered an alien spirit?
I have not encountered an alien. I was present for, what was it, 1997, March 13th, 1987. I did see the lights as I was traveling home because that's my birthday. I was traveling home from a birthday dinner with my first husband, and we both saw them and couldn't explain it, but neither one of us ever saw anything, pertaining to that other than just the lights. So,
Okay. I was just curious because, again, coughing. Said, But anyway, there is a concept out there that some of the alien beings do not have souls. That the Greys are like puppets of beings that do have souls.
right.
So it doesn't quite surprise me that you have not encountered one. It kind of solidifies the fact that perhaps not. Well, I'm of a belief that all tribes have good and bad.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Um, why would it be any different for aliens?
Right. Exactly. Oh, poor Kristen.
What was that?
I said, poor Kristen, she's coughing.
Honestly, I have fought and won over a sinus infection from hell.
Yeah.
And it's just that last little tickle in the
Mm-hmm.
back of my throat. So that's why I keep sipping water and trying not to cough on it on stage. But that just proves that I'm not AI, right?
That's right. Exactly.
So, what has your experience with AI been? Have you had positive experiences? And does it have a soul?
I have not really dabbled in AI, to be honest with you. I know it's out there. I haven't really used it, to be honest. Call me old fashioned, I guess. If I can't put my own words together, instead of going to Chat GPT and asking them to create it for me, then, what was my education that I paid for so many years ago worth?
Right? Like that's cheating. Oh, I have a very good friendship with my ex-husband, so I called him my husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he told me he's a professor, and he told me he had the darndest time with his students using AI to write their reports.
I
He
bet.
could not tell the difference.
Oh, wow. That's scary.
Yeah, that is scary. And then I had a wonderful interview with an AI. I won't name any names, but I had a wonderful interview with an AI lady
Oh,
that I
cool.
admire very much to this day, right? And so I'm interviewing her, and I sent it on to my uncle, who's about 16 years older than I am. So
Mm-hmm.
he's almost 80. And he said, Christy, because that's what my family still calls me. It's pet
Mhm.
name. He's like, Christy, that was scary. And I'm like, why, Uncle Richie? And he's like, because I didn't know until 15 minutes in that she was not a real human. And I said, well, she passed the Turing test. And he's like, what's that? And I was like, when you can't tell
Yeah.
that it is AI, then it has passed the Turing test.
Mhm. It's
And I
true.
said, this is the future, Unc. Get used to
Yeah.
it. He's like, I don't know if I like it. And I was like, okay. Think back to those Thanksgiving dinners that we used to have, and you had the 38 millimeter, little projector going, and you'd reverse it back and forth to make the food come out of Grandma's mouth. And he's like, "Oh, Chrissy, oh, Chrissy, you go for the jugular, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So let's think about the technology that we've seen in our lifetime.
Right. It's very true. It's very
Yeah.
true. I mean, look at the fact that we have these,
Mhm.
and you have Apple watches. The watches, they can do your heartbeat. It's a health issue. You can put it on and you can have it tell your heartbeat. And all these things that it can tell you. So, absolutely, the technology has just grown. It's phenomenal.
My little grandson has one.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden I get this message and I'm like, honey, how did you do that? Because he didn't have a tablet phone or anything. He's like, and shows me his watch. And I'm like, oh, that is so cool. So I
Hmm.
love it because, we always know where he is.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Times have changed. I mean, I don't know about you, but I am a child of the 70s. So I was able to get on my bike and I could go as long as I was back by sundown when the street lights come on.
yep.
I was on my bike all day long every day.
Same here. I am also a child of the 60s and 70s, but
Mhm.
um, I basically we'd have our breakfast, we would wash our dishes, we would put them away, we would watch a few minutes of cartoons, we would be outside playing, riding our bikes until lunchtime. We'd come in, make our own sandwiches, and then again do our own dishes because if we came home and there were dirty dishes, we got in trouble.
Oh, absolutely.
So
You had to
and
be
then
self-sufficient.
if you had to come home for dinner, but if you had all of your homework done, then you could go out and play until it was dark out.
Right.
And
Exactly.
in Wisconsin, in the
This
springtime, it
the
doesn't
light,
get dark out until 9:30 at night.
right. It stays light long.
Oh my goodness, it's crazy. So I would actually challenge my mom and say, "Why do I have to go to bed? It's still light out." And she
Hmm.
said, well, you know.
You got school tomorrow or you got to get up. And yeah, exactly.
That's what exactly what she said. She's like, it's springtime, and so you have to get up. And then when you don't have to get up, then summer vacation, then you can sleep as long as you want,
Right.
and
Exactly.
so you can stay up a little bit later. But I've got to still get you up in the morning. So
Yep.
yeah. Well, hello, Mike. I'm glad you just woke up. Rachel says, oh, she must be talking about addiction to technology, and then she says, because
Hi,
they're
Rachel.
they're so advanced, they use technology, yeah. Well, can you imagine what these kids are gonna do when the aliens start talking to them through their tech?
Hmm.
Because I can see it happening. I can
Oh, I
feel it.
could see it. Yeah, I could see it happening too. And it's crazy when she talks about the technology and children. I remember, what was it? I can't remember who I was talking to, but they, the military will specifically target children who played video games, and they're the ones that can handle the drones that'll
Yeah,
blow things up in
yeah,
real life
yeah,
because of the fact that they have no emotion, no connection to
yeah,
it, and they know how to do it. So it's
exactly.
kind of
It's a
crazy when you think
training
about that.
field. It's a training field for kids, and that's scary. There's a like an urban legend about a video game that appeared in the 90s, and it was almost like a portal to
Mm,
uh, they would teach you, it would teach you, right?
uh-huh.
And it would it would send you into another realm. I don't know exactly how it did it, but look it up, guys. It's creepy. And to
Wow.
this day, the urban legend is still out there, but they've never seen another game like it,
Wow, that's interesting. Wow.
right?
But see, that's, training them young.
Mm, exactly. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to talk about?
Let's see.
You want to talk about Tombstone and what you found there?
Sure, can totally do that. We did a investigation to a building that's never been investigated before. It is the first tent saloon from 1879. And when we went into the building, of course, I went in and I didn't know anything about it. So went in and I picked up on 4 different spirits, and 2 of them killed each other. They were of the period, I think it was 1882 roughly, that they basically shot each other. It was a gentleman named Billy and a gentleman named Frankie. Frankie Francisco was stealing Billy's cattle or horses, and Billy had his suspicions but never caught him in the act. And of course, the sheriff wasn't going to do anything at the time until it was actually caught in the act. So there was a stressful poker game that took place, and let's just put it this way: there was 4 people at the table, but only 2 were playing, and they both were trying to catch each other cheating so that they could shoot each other.
Wow.
And so it happened, and they shot each other and they killed each other, and they're now in death together. They didn't think that through very well. So one stays in one part of the building and the other one stays in the other part of the building. So, and Frankie is quite the drinker. And so we've actually had people come in that are women, particularly because he loves the women, and he particularly likes to make them feel drunk. So they're paranormal drunk. So I actually got to experience that for the first time with my girlfriend who was with me on the investigation. And she was paranormal drunk. In the middle of the investigations, she started kind of hunched over and she started, giggling like this. And I went, we have to halt the investigation. We got to get her outside. So, and she couldn't walk. She was like, kind of like,
she was really inebriated, wasn't she?
very inebriated. And the key thing is she hardly ever drinks. So it wasn't like she was doing this at dinner.
Did it take over her then?
It did. So we got her outside and got her water. In fact, she drank some water and she gave it back to me and said, this tastes terrible. That's how inebriated she felt. So I ended up having to, in order to get her calm and not falling on the sidewalk drunk and having people look at her, I literally picked her up and gave her a big bear hug. And she's like, I know what you're doing. And I go, yep, I am doing it. And I am taking the energy away and dispelling it. Yeah. So I literally had to do that within about 5 minutes, and she was clear and concise and cognizant at that point.
So where did you send the spirit?
I sent the effects, not the spirit itself. I sent I shook off the effects of the alcohol off into the ether, so that I didn't experience it and she didn't experience it.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much him doing it, was him imposing it on her, not him in her. It wasn't like a possession in this particular case. It was just more of an effect.
More of an influence.
Correct. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Because as I understand it, possession is rare. Influence is a lot more common.
Correct. Exactly. Right. Oops. Sorry. Dog's coughing. Sorry.
It's very possible sometimes, like if we're in, let's say, a dark, crabby, pissy mood, ask if something is influencing you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does something need to come out? Is there something here that I'm not seeing? Because this is not my normal self.
Right.
Test that spirit. See what's going on. And several times I have found that, there were negative entities around me trying to dim my light. Mm-hmm. And I had to tell him to kind of go sit and spin because I wasn't doing that anymore in my life,
Right. Well, and as a medium, I'm extremely empathic. So um I pick up on everybody's energy. So I oftentimes have to ground myself and meditate and shake off all of the negative energy that I'm feeling from people that I'm around. And I'm around a lot of people all the time, whether it's a concert. My husband's in the concert business, so I could be sitting in a venue with 2,000 people, and I could feel, there might be 50 people that had a bad day. I'm going to feel that, and it's going to affect me. So I need to go back and ground and get back into my own self and my own light. But yeah, Tombstone was wonderful. I had so Frankie and Billy. Then we jumped to the 1930s, and we had a Portuguese immigrant who was another love triangle situation where it was a businessman who was having an affair with a young 18, 19-year-old immigrant. I think she finally decided to tell the wife, but it would have ruined his career, their stature in the city, etc., in the town. So he strangled her. And then we have Bobby. Bobby was the most recent one from 1972.
You started talking about him, and I'm like, I had seen a picture because we're Facebook friends.
Yeah.
And I had a picture of drawings. I believe that you had described the entities and someone drew them for you.
Exactly. Yep.
And so you were describing this one, and I was like, by any chance, was he the one in the t-shirt with the pot belly? And you're like, yes. Mm-hmm. And I asked you, I said, how did I do that?
Intuition.
They say women do have it. I think I just got a double dose.
There you go. Some of us are more empathic and more intuitive than others. Yes, exactly.
Well, we're just about at the end of the show. Again, it always does. That's just an amazing thing. Is any message, anything else you'd like to chat about?
No, I think that's good. I said you can find me on my Facebook page. Medium Red is my Facebook page. You can message me through that. You can go to my website, which is mediumredaz.com. Not on TikTok yet. My girlfriend's going to get me on that soon. I still have to figure out how to get into my account.
Oh, I know. Technology. I mean,
it works.
It works. We're trying. We're trying to learn all of it, but yeah, I literally have to ask my grandkids now, what do I have to do next? Yeah. Because they can pick it up just like that. Oh, my little 2-year-old granddaughter, boop, boop, boop on my phone. I'm like, honey, how? Yep. How? But they know.
They do. They totally do. It's amazing. It's shockingly amazing.
Well, that's the next wave. I really believe that, like, now we can think something a little too loud and our phone picks it up, and then we get an advertisement for it. Mm-hmm. I think that these kids are going to have like a direct link to it. They'll be able to live their thoughts only. Mm-hmm. Thoughts only. Be able to change the channel.
Right.
Change the picture, do whatever they want. I'm like,
call somebody.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I'm hoping I get to stick around long enough to see that kind of technology.
If not, you can watch it from the sidelines.
Well, there you go. Because I plan on being a guardian angel to my grandchildren because I love them dearly.
I love that.
If there's nothing else you would like to talk about, I would like to invite you to come back another time. We'll find much more to talk about, but that's all for now, my dear friends. Thank you so much for joining us. Never forget that you are amazing. You are loved. Be well, be safe out there. I'll see you on the next show. Bye,
everybody. Bye. Thank you, guys.